Alright, today we're diving into Jet Rider 2, or Jet Moto 2 if you're outside Europe. This beast came out back in 1997 from Sony Interactive Studios America and Single Track, and honestly, it's one of the hardest races of its era. Between the original and the Championship Edition re-release, it sold over 800,000 copies, which is wild for such a brutally tough game. Reviews at the time were mixed. GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10 and praised the variety of courses. IGN came in at a 7, and Electronic Gaming Monthly dragged it down with a 5.9. On average, it sat around 70%, so not a masterpiece, but definitely a cult hit. If you were around in the PlayStation 1 era, you probably remember it as that racer you either loved or completely bounced off. And now on PS5, thanks to PlayStation Plus Premium, we've got save states and rewind. Without those, this platinum would have been controller snapping stuff. With them, still brutal, but actually possible. So here's my journey to the platinum. 26 trophies, one by one, in the order I earned them. The first trophy I went for was Learner's Permit. The guide said to hop into practice mode, run a lap, and finish. Simple. But I wasn't ready to just dive straight into the season, so I ran 3 laps to actually get used to the controls again. The thing about Jet Moto is those L1 and R1 drift taps are everything. If you don't use them, you lose all your momentum in corners and basically bounce around like a pinball. Those first laps were messy, but they got me back into the flow. Crossed the line, first trophy done, and I was warmed up for the real grind. With practice out of the way, I started a season run on Slick Rock Gorge. Tight canyon walls, sharp turns, and barely any room to breathe. I had to grab boosted potential here, which meant draining my turbo 3 times in a race. So each lap I held down triangle, emptied the bar completely, and then waited for it to refill. Do that 3 times, and as long as you finish, it pops. At the same time, finishing the race got me Canyon Trespass. The AI was already pushing hard, and I had a couple of near misses where rewind saved me from smashing into a wall, but I held on, 2 trophies in the bag. Next was Meltdown, a figure 8 track where halfway through you slam head on into the other riders. Total mayhem. It's also got those magnetic grapple poles, which I had to completely ignore for why grapple when you can drift. That meant I had to lean on drifting way more than I normally would, and it was sketchy. One missed angle and you're face planting into lava. But somehow I made it through without touching the grapple and finished the track, which gave me Don't Melt Your Moto as well. Both popped, and I felt like I'd just robbed the game of 2 trophies it really didn't want to give up. After that was Aftershock, and this one is Chaos. It's basically a crumbling city with rubble everywhere, ridiculous gaps, and a layout that feels like it's actively trying to trip you up. Just finishing it gave me Race to Ruin, but because it was the final race of the season, it also gave me This Is Me at my worst. The AI rubber banding was insane here. I'd be ahead, then suddenly shoved out of the way like I didn't exist. I rewound more times than I can count, but crossing that line and seeing both trophies pop together was a real relief. Season done, and a gold trophy to show for it. With the season out of the way, I started messing with the cheats. At the main menu, I put in the code triangle, down, right, R2, R1, up, left, square. Heard the little cha-ching sound? Perfect. Then I went into the trophy case, and because I already had 3 trophies, the Jet Moto 2 key filled the 4th slot. That instantly popped check out my trophies. I pressed cross on the key, stunt racing switched on, and the HUD lit up with 888. That was ignition. 2 trophies just by fiddling with menus. Honestly, best part of the game so far. With stunt racing active, I headed back to Aftershock because that opening downhill drop is perfect for tricks. First target was Showing Off, a stunt worth 50 points. I lined up a spin, went for it, somehow landed it, and the score rolled over past 50. That trophy popped instantly. Then I set my sights on Get Tricky. 3 tricks in 1 race. I botched the landing a couple of times, but rewind saved me. A few spins later, 3 clean tricks, and the trophy was mine. That downhill section basically became my stunt playground. Next up, custom circuits. Score Miser was easy enough. Win a custom championship with 3 or more tracks. I set up a short one, scraped through with the AI constantly breathing down my neck, and the gold popped. Then came Timekeeper. Same deal but for a rally, where it's based on best times instead of points. That one actually felt tighter because you can't afford a bad lap. A couple of rewinds later though, I got it. 2 more golds done. Then came Arctic Blast. Slippery straights, icy corners, and a track that feels like it's been designed specifically to ruin your grip. I had to be really careful with the turbo. Too much and I'd slide straight into the wall. Not enough and I'd lose the race. I must have rewound 5 or 6 times just on the same corner, but eventually I strung together a clean run and got Arctic Recon. After that was Hotshot, home of the Giza Loop. I went straight for taking the scenic route, which pops the second you complete the Giza Loop. Did it, got the trophy, and then immediately rewound so I didn't lose my position. Finished the race, and that got me under pressure. 2 trophies in one go, and honestly, the rewind trick saved me from having to redo it. Then it was time for the Shaft, one of the hardest tracks of the whole game. It's basically a vertical tunnel with tiny pathways that just beg you to fly off. I needed 2 here. Mind the Gap for finishing, and Abyss Watcher for doing it without falling out of bounds. Without rewind, this would have been impossible. I fell off so many times I lost count, but rewound each one until I finally pieced together a clean run. When I crossed the line and both trophies popped, I actually laughed. It felt like I'd just beaten a boss fight. Next came Rollerside, the track that almost broke me. It's so fast and every corner feels like a death sentence. Go too wide and you're gone, clip a checkpoint and you're reset, and the AI here is relentless. I rewound more times than I can admit, and even then I only barely scraped through. But I did finish and grapple onto something unlocked. That one felt earned. After Rollerside, Carmarte felt like a breather. Long straights broken up by downhill hairpins. I still had to rewind a couple of nasty corners, but it was nothing compared to what came before. Crossing the line unlocked Respect the Hacker, and for once I didn't feel like the game had it out for me. Then came Max Schnell, which lives up to its name. It's all about speed and nasty elevation changes. One bad landing and you're gone. I had to keep the bike flat over every jump, and even then I needed a couple of rewinds to stop myself flipping over. Eventually I made it through and Mountain of Peril unlocked. After that I took a break with one of the easiest trophies in the game. Try paying attention to the road. All you have to do is fall off 3 times in a single race, no problem. I literally drove straight off the track a few times, picked myself back up, and the trophy popped. After sweating through Rollerside and the Shaft, it felt good to grab one that basically rewards you for being bad. With the track-specific chaos out of the way, all that remained was the mop-up. First up was jetting through the finish, a simple one where you just need to win a single race. I lined it up, crossed the line in first, and the gold was mine. Then came the grind. Jet Moto Enthusiast unlocks after 15 completed races, and Jet Moto Racer after 30. Thanks to all the retries and rewinds I'd already stacked up, I was pretty close. A few more runs and the silver for Enthusiast popped. After that, I settled into farming Meltdown since it's the quickest track to knock out. About 20 minutes of reruns later, the gold for Jet Moto Racer finally unlocked. And with that last milestone ticked off, the Platinum returning champion popped automatically, closing out the run. Looking back, this wasn't just a Platinum run. It was a trip back to the PS1 era where games didn't care if they were fair. Jet Moto 2 punishes every mistake, and even with Rewind, I still felt the heat. The AI rubber bands like crazy, the tracks are unforgiving, and it's not shy about throwing you off a cliff. But that's what made this Platinum so satisfying, because every trophy felt like a fight. Would I recommend it? Only if you've got patience or nostalgia strong enough to carry you through the pain. But if you stick with it, this is one of those Platinums that actually feels like a badge of honor. So yeah, Jet Rider 2 done and dusted. If you enjoyed this Platinum journey, drop a like, leave a comment about your favorite PS1 racing game, and hit subscribe for more trophy hunts. I've got plenty more classics lined up, so stick around if you want to see me suffer through them too. As always, thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.